All right, so as many of you know, Donald Trump was indicted yesterday in the classified documents case by a grand jury. 31 total counts, many of them related to the Espionage Act. There were no actual espionage charges, but today we have a clip here of Fox News absolutely struggling to cope with the fact that Donald Trump has been indicted. This is really sad and pathetic. Here it is.
And you know, Kimberly, we haven't even scratched the surface of this yet. The former president is running for president, and not only that, he's the front runner in the Republican nomination right now.
I hear conservatives say this. I hear like the less serious kind of goofy conservatives like Tim Pool and Dave Rubin say kind of stuff like this, similar to this. They're like, well, he's running for president. He's the Republican nominee. Charlie Kirk says that he's running for president. You can't do that. And it's like, so you guys' logic is we hold our elected officials to a lower standard than regular people. Shouldn't we hold somebody that held the highest office in the land to a higher standard? I don't care if he is the Republican nominee for president. I don't care if he's the front-running Republican nominee for president. If this was flipped and it was for some reason a Democrat in this position right now, and all of the things that Trump did, a Democrat did, I would still be sitting here saying that that Democrat needs to be prosecuted. Okay? We need to hold these people to a higher standard, not a lower standard. That doesn't make sense. I don't see how that's a defense for, against him being indicted. Again, by a grand jury, okay? This was a group of citizens that indicted him.
I mean, yeah, this is really, that's the most concerning aspect of this, and that
No, that's not the most concerning aspect of this. If you think that that is the most concerning aspect of this, especially when, again, they unsealed the indictment, 31 total charges, when part of what he is being charged with is literally retaining national defense information, nuclear secrets, when he literally kept nuclear secrets, which, you know, the conservatives, they were kind of, playing around with that, saying, oh, they think he stole into the nuclear codes. He does. Not nuclear codes. I don't know if that's what it is, but he did. He literally took nuclear information. So they were already wrong about that. But again, the most concerning part of this is not that Donald Trump is the front-running nominee for president. That's the most concerning part if you're a Republican and you're still a part of this disgusting, terrible party.
We now have a Democratic president and a Democratic attorney general who have brought an indictment against the former Republican president, who's the leading contender to be Joe Biden's opponent.
But Joe Biden's not the one who did it, and neither is a Democratic attorney general. She works for the Wall Street Journal. It says it down here. Her name is Kimberly Strassel. I have seen her name before. Does she not know that it was a grand jury that indicted Donald Trump? I mean, it was literally a grand jury. I know I'm not wrong about that. It's right here. He was indicted by a grand jury. It wasn't any Democratic attorney general. It wasn't Joe Biden. Does she not know?
This fall. This is the kind of thing that we would laugh at if it were coming from another country.
No, the other countries are laughing at us because we have motherfuckers like this in office. Our entire, almost all of our politicians, so many of our politicians are terrible. They don't do their fucking jobs. They don't care about anyone. They don't care about the citizens that they get elected to serve. They care about themselves. Okay? Donald Trump, again, he was president, and he literally is completely ruining our national security. I think our national security is a joke to begin with in this country, but no. The other countries are looking at us and laughing. I mean, at least from what I read, just solely based on what people in my comments say, people that say they live in other countries, they literally comment and say that this is like a complete joke. America's a joke. They laugh at us. They feel sorry for us. They feel bad for us. How fucking stupid the things that go on in this country are, like a former president retaining nuclear documents, classified nuclear information, storing documents in his bathroom. That's how much of a clown the Republican Party is. That's the front runner for the Republican presidential nominee. He literally stored classified docs in his bathroom, but they call him Sleepy Joe.
And that, in my mind, is the biggest question here, is we're now meditating on the contents of this particular indictment. But the question...
And I'm sorry, but you guys know that if it was a Democrat in this position, these people would be pushing for them to be locked up immediately, thrown in jail, thrown in prison, whatever you want to call it. I mean, they're literally calling. I saw a clip. I'm not going to play it, but I saw a clip of Greg Gutfeld literally saying that they should arrest Jill Biden because of the Trump indictment. So, again, if the roles were reversed here, the story would be completely different. But because it's a Republican and because it's Donald Trump, it's okay. It's okay that he can do whatever he wants. He can literally do whatever he wants, and it doesn't matter. It's only when Democrats do things. Like, if a Democrat tries to, breathe, that's not okay. But when Donald Trump steals nuclear classified documents and documents related to attacks that we have carried out, it's okay. It's all good. Cool.
The question for me is, why did we have to get here in the first place?
You should just ask Donald Trump that, because it's all his fucking fault. Because Mike Pence and Joe Biden both had classified documents they weren't supposed to have, and when they got told to return those documents, when the National Archives, when the lawyers, when all these people showed up and said, hey, you guys aren't supposed to have this, Joe Biden and Mike Pence both, credit where credit is due, they both said, you know what, there you go. Do whatever you need, whatever we're not supposed to have, take it, have it, there you go. So it's all Donald Trump's fault. He put himself in this position. You have no one to blame except for Donald Trump himself. It's beyond pathetic, deplorable, just downright stupid to me for this person to sit here and say, how did we get to this point in the first place? It's called your main guy for Republican nomination is one of the most corrupt this country has ever seen, and that's saying a lot.
Knowing the stakes and the potential turmoil of this, the Department of Justice had all manner of tools at its disposal to deal with this in a different way. It could have...
What is that? What do you mean, deal with it in a different way? They tried to do it quietly. We have knowledge. We know that one of Trump's aides lied to the FBI at least 3 separate times about these documents. We know that Donald Trump lied about having these documents, and then that's why Mar-a-Lago got raided. The National Archives, they had knowledge of him retaining documents he was not supposed to have. They knew about it. They tried to do it quietly. They tried to hit Donald Trump and his team up and say, look, we need this stuff back, but he lied about it. That's the problem here. It's not that Donald Trump is the Republican nominee. No, that's a problem for you because you're a fucking idiot.
Requested to go and search Mar-a-Lago and see if there had been anything left behind.
They knew. They already knew. They don't need to do that, lady. This lady doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, which is crazy to me because, again, she works for the totally not right-leaning Wall Street Journal. That's literally what they already knew. What this lady is saying is just, it's nothing. She says, well, they could have went and did this. Well, no, they actually, kind of did try to do it by the book and play by the book. It was Donald Trump that didn't want to play by the rules, and now he's suffering the consequences of that.
Could have been civil charges that were brought. Jack Smith, rather than issuing an indictment, could have put out a report and maybe detailed some pretty unpleasant behavior, but let the American people decide. And instead, what we've got, especially...
He did let the American people decide. Lady, grand jury. I will look this up if I really have to. Grand jury witnesses. I have it pulled up, actually. A grand jury consists of 16 to 23 citizens. They let American citizens decide. And guess what? This happened in Florida. He got indicted down in Florida. So a grand jury of Floridians, Florida citizens, said to themselves, we're going to indict the former president on this classified documents case.
This case is unknown territory because of the Presidential Records Act. I just would like to think that if we're going to go down this road, that they would do so only with the most rock solid of cases, not something that's uncharted territory.
All right.
It's only uncharted territory because this has never happened before. What do you mean? I don't... I don't know what was going through that person's mind when they invited her on to talk about that. She didn't say anything of substance at all. She just literally said that this is unfair because it's unfair, and I don't like it. That's why it's bad. It was nothing. But that's going to be it for the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and press that little bell and turn on all notifications so you guys never miss an upload.